calls.
It looks like a different team than it did last week.
Yeah.
Even though they lost to Immortals yesterday, they looked a lot better doing it today. They pick up the first win in this series against Echo Fox, looking better again. We'll see if they can continue that trend. If they get a first series win, that would be great for them. But honestly, even if they lose today, they're looking a lot better than they did last week.
Yeah.
And they can hopefully carry that momentum forward.
Well, the hope is that they don't lose here because currently 0-3 in the standings.
Of course.
A win is pretty nice. So, all right, as you can see, we have entered picks and bans. Again, KFO's Fiora stricken right away. Zyra is going to be the first ban for Echo Fox. Once again, keep that away from Kiwikid. He's so very strong on that. And the Victor is going to be the follow-up ban from Echo Fox.
Yeah, Kiwikid has looked great on it. Now they say, ooh, GBM, you got to go Victor. We got to take that away too. So my guess is that they're actually going to ban Victor and Vlad. It's possible they leave Vlad open and try to force NRG to ban it. Because Fox has first pick, they can take that up for themselves. Froggen can obviously play this as well. I'm sure KFO would do that too. So, we'll see what their strategy is for that. Aurelia now taken away. Got a lot of top lane focus here from NRG and, a little bit of a mix from Echo Fox so far.
The Aurelia really makes sense to me because from what we saw with KFO's Fiora, he's an absolute monster when he gets going. And with the current strength of Fiora, Aurelia, it's just a very strong pick. And the Twitch is going to be the final ban for OQ. So that means the jungle is untouched.
Yeah, so honestly think if I'm NRG, you can try to trade OPs. So it's like that's kind of one of the strategies where it's like, ooh, you could ban away NIdalee or you could ban away Vladimir. I think in a lot of cases, it's better just leave both open. Say, hey, okay, you can take one, we'll take the other. Depends on what their thought process is, what they think is the most dangerous of the picks. They say, no, we're not willing to give it to Vlad, but this does mean first pick NIdalee is open for Fox. We'll see if Hard elects to play it. It's been very contested throughout most of the split across all regions, so definitely still a danger. And, we saw Rainover beasting it up yesterday on the NIdalee. We have seen a lot of NIdalee picks, and I would not be surprised to see that go first round.
Yeah, still a very strong champion right now. And I am a bit curious to see if NRG continue to try to prioritize that Maokai. That seems to have been working for Quas. He's shown a little bit of difficulty with it when playing against carry top laners like Fizz and Aurelia. But in the late game,
like Fiora too.
So yeah, exactly. In the late game, he just becomes so tanky that the early game just becomes a non-factor.
Yeah, and last game, let's be honest, he did not really struggle in that matchup. They rotated away from it. They avoided it. He was in like basically a counter matchup. Fizz even had Ignite. This is designed to kind of slaughter this Maokai. He did not opt into it. They moved around. He picked up farm. Quas did his job. He played very well.
Yeah, so we'll see if they decide to go back for that. Sivir now locked in for Echo Fox. Keith, you talked about putting him on a high damage carry. Well,
Sivir is definitely that. Moving into the late game, Ricochet is nasty. Very, very scary stuff. And it's also something that they took away from NRG. NRG last game, I think that their comp worked well for them because they had a lot of ways in. They have the speed up from Kiwikid. They had the speed up from their ADC. They have Gragas initiation, Maokai initiation. It's a very clear way to play the game. When you're struggling with your team's synergy, with your coordination, you want to give yourself very clear play patterns, very clear answers. What do? Well, we speed ourselves up and we run at them. We got a big front line. Let's get in there.
Pretty clear go button. And yeah, it looks like they're going to go for something similar as it appears that, last second swap. Karma and NIdalee are going to be locked in.
Really good second round picks there for NRG. You got to say, Karma and NIdalee, both first pick worthy, have been first picked a lot. To pick up both on the back end of this draft is really, really good. I think NRG have got to be happy about that one. Santorin, a great NIdalee player. We've seen Kiwikid play a lot of Karma. They're going to be happy. Yeah, they gave away the Sivir, but I do not think that you need the Sivir to play the kind of game that NRG wants to play.
Yeah, the Caitlyn was being hovered. We know that's a staple of OQ's, so we'll see if he decides to go back to that later on.
Yeah, there's no reason to pick it up early. He's going to have it in the draft. They're not going to draft Sivir and Caitlyn.
You've already seen.
Exactly. So that's one of the weaknesses of doing that. Anytime you do an early pick, the team can now delay those picks. If you pick your jungler first, well, they don't need to pick their jungler next because they can get it later in the draft. So that's something you have to keep in mind. KFO, they're going to be put on that Maokai. They're saying, Quas, show me what you can do.
Yeah.
And Quas has not really had any other champion so far. He had, I think, one game on Vladimir. Did not do so hot on it. He was like 0-6-2 or something like that. Was not a great game. So we'll see what Quas is going to want to play. They do have the ability to pick him up the Swain, but do they want to index that heavily on magic damage? I'm not sure. Magic damage from your jungler, magic damage from your Karma. If you're going to pick Ezreal, you know, you do not have the same kind of tank busting. You're looking at the same problem that your opponents faced last game. So we'll see what they're going to do here. You know, big questions for NRG. The solo laners have to be picked. Ooh, the Vayne is going to get locked in. Okay.
That's
you say tanks
play.
could be a problem. Well, guess what? True damage is pretty good against tanks, Dom.
Oh, man, Illaoi being
oh,
covered
baby,
as
lock
well.
it in,
This
lock
is
it in.
a
Oh, here we
party. Oh, boy.
Oh, Kobe. Kobe, where you at? He's been asking for it. He's been asking
talking about
for
the
it.
Illaoi. Oh, boy.
This is exciting. This is actually something I've been told Quas had been playing religiously a couple weeks ago. He was going in on the Illaoi. He was loving it. Everyone has said in the scrims, Quas is a beast on the carry top laners. Now we get to see it. Guess what? It's a really good matchup against Maokai. Maokai does not have the damage to really kind of punch through your healing. You get more and more healing from those tentacle slaps the lower you get.
Yeah.
It becomes very difficult for Maokai. If you cannot this guy, you cannot kill him.
There are a lot of, so far, 3 very big damage sources from NRG, and that's without GBM, who's essentially the heartbeat of the damage on their team. I believe he had the highest damage in that previous game.
Yeah, we'll see what they're going to actually pick. You know, one thing you have to look at, it's a pretty fragile team. We're going to get the Froggen and Anivia. That's his classic. We've got the Graves locked in as well. They do not want to under-index on damage. They have Graves, they have Sivir, they have Anivia. They got lots. A great, well-rounded composition here from Fox. NRG's is much more of a mixed bag. I love it. I'm excited for it. But it looks like it's pretty darn hard to play. You got a Vayne if you get caught by one stun. If you get pulled in, you know, hooked by the Maokai or anything like that, you're going to go down very quickly. And it's going to be Ziggs. We saw Ziggs actually played, I think, in week 1 game by GBM. They did lose that one. GBM did not look great on the Ziggs, but the whole team was kind of struggling. And I see the thought process here. You know, you have your Vayne in a side lane, collecting farm, looking for 1v1s. You have Maokai, who is kind of this counter initiation, you know, a champion that can 1v1 here as well. So you kind of have your side lanes covered. And then you have your Ziggs, who's supposed to be the guy that delays it out. You know, keep wave clearing, keep securing the blue buffs, build a lot of mana regen, and just stall out the game. You know, one thing is, though, Froggen's going to be very happy to do that as well. Fox has incredible amounts of wave clear. You're not going to be pushing turrets against an Anivia Sivir.
Yeah, it'll be off of the back of team fights. And
I'm excited.
Yeah, this is going to be an action-packed game. With NRG coming out with some very unorthodox champions, looking to make a very strong showing for themselves in this.
This is the debut of Illaoi in the NA LCS.
Yeah.
So this is pretty hype. It's been picked in European LCS. It was picked in Challenger the other day.
And we missed it.
We did, but we got like a minute or two. So maybe we're attracting the Illaoi. It's We're doing it.
All right, well, it's time to find out if NRG can finish this series off. Let us know your predictions. Update them with hashtag FOXWin or hashtag NRGWin, and we'll tally those as we get ready for this match. Illaoi, Ziggs, Vayne. Man, we talked about how easy it was in the previous game because they had the easy initiation with Maokai and Sivir and Gragas. Well, this isn't quite so clear-cut.
Not at all. So I think that Fox, as far as traditional drafts go, they have the much more clear-cut, strong, well-rounded composition. But NRG, they got the element of surprise.
Yeah. They've got the pocket sand.
Yep.
Nobody expects it.
Nobody.
Okay.
You know, also just kind of talking a little bit more about strengths and weaknesses here. I think that one of the great things for NRG in this draft is going to be that they have, you know, the strong kind of dueling top laner. They have a super aggressive early jungler. Santorin has been getting work done even on the tanks. He has the ability to get ahead of hard and look for early ganks. And if you can start to snowball this Illaoi, he can be a beast. One of the best champions in the game at 1v2ing, turning around ganks. Counter engage is very strong. OQ, you know, Vayne is traditionally a weak laner, but guess what? He has the Karma. That's kind of the band-aid for that, and they're laning against the Braum. So they have a composition that makes quite a bit of sense. In theory, we'll see how it plays out in practice.
Yeah, KFO and Hard, they're just scratching each other's back. This is a very strong composition for NRG, very strong in lanes. We'll see if they're able to play it out. Echo Fox, though, seems like they're going to be content to stay with standard lanes, keeping their duo on the bottom side as OQ and Kiwikid also are going to start on the bottom side. Froggen, first damage onto GBM. So again, we're not expecting a lot to happen for probably a while. Not until we see Santorin or Hard look for some ganks.
Yeah, and they could do that very early on. We've seen Santorin going for even level 2 ganks on his Graves yesterday, made that work. He's been doing very well with the early aggression, so it's possible, depending on the lane positioning, that we could see them path out, try to get some early aggression done.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on those junglers as they're currently both on the same side of the map right now. Might try to affect that top lane that Illaoi would be looking to abuse against KFO. Wild, Big, and Keith trading it out with Kiwikid. Already you can see the lane going back and forth as they're trading, and in fact, NRG trying to go in. Big still only level 1. He's taking a lot of harass.
Is he ever? And that is the weakness of the melee supports. And you know, up here in the top lane, two guys farming away. We have the NIdalee power farming, doing pretty well for himself. Graves, though, also keeping up. And you know, Big has been chunked down. Has a lot of pots available, though. Going to be okay for now. And as Santorin clears that blue, we'll see where he's going to make his first move if he elects to go down and try to get some early aggression very quickly, because Graves is still going to have to clear up his red buff before he's really getting involved, most likely.
Yeah, Santorin is going to be just a little bit faster, and there's Quas.
He's got his spirit.
Wow, look at that damage.
So to talk a little bit about the Illaoi, some players you know, may not know too much about this champion. When you do pull a spirit, if they do actually move out of the range of this, there's a tether. If you break the tether, you become vesseled. If you're actually able to kill the spirit, you become vesseled. And Quas is going to grab another one. The amount of harass that comes out from this is very high. In order to get red of that vessel, you have to kill off a number of tentacles. And look at the damage KFO is already taking early on. There's tentacles spawning everywhere. They're going to keep slapping at him. He's actually got to be pretty careful. If those caught him, he could have been in some serious trouble. So one of the changes recently was that Illaoi actually has some slows built into her kit now, so she can actually slow you when she does smack you with that Q. The spirits actually spawn tentacles more quickly as well, so the debuff expires faster, but it spawns the tentacles out much more quickly also. So it's kind of more intense debuff that you can deal with, but it doesn't last as long. You have to be really careful about this champion, though, because the amount of damage that comes out can be very surprising when you're surrounded by a lot of these tentacles, which Quas is kind of starting to stack up.
Yeah, that's what we see from KFO right now is he takes some damage and is forced to walk away from lane, sit under his turret, and heal up with the health potion charges. He doesn't want to miss any minions on this wave, so Quas is probably grinning ear to ear now that he's got that champion in the top lane. And KFO, there he goes. He's able to get that one.
Oh boy, that's an aggressive buy. The pickaxe coming out here from Quas. He is looking to fell the tree, and man, he is good with that. He keeps getting them time and time again. Another vessel procced, and if you follow KFO, he's going to be playing a little mini game, trying to play keep away from the tentacles, and he's going to get slapped. Gets stopped once again, and he's actually still in range of that. He's maybe going to get slapped again.
Yeah, as long as he is a vessel, it's every 5 seconds, and right now it's currently 12 seconds of vessel, so that's 2 tentacles at least.
Yep.
And
so
yeah, forced to use his teleport to get back in the lane.
Yeah, he has pushed this in. We'll see if this is ever going to really draw the jungle attention, because, as we said, it can be pretty scary to actually gank into the Illaoi, especially one who has lane control, because, damn, he keeps grabbing the spirits time and time again. He's going to have so many tentacles set up that if you engage into him, he gets a good ult, you're going to be in trouble.
Very strong lane right now. Froggen, once again, just trading out with GBM, trying to deny that recall. He knows he's got the mana advantage right now, so he can play out the lane just a bit longer as he now just dings level 6. Haven't seen anything from the junglers just yet other than them glancing by each other in the river. But that's so many tentacles in the top lane. KFO, man. He's a field goal. He's ready to catch.
Yeah. At the same time, you know, he hasn't really fallen too far behind. Right?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
he's doing fine. But I'm hyped for the Illaoi.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. Quas is carving out himself an early advantage, which he's going to want to do. Both junglers starting to gravitate towards that top lane. We could see some action.
Yeah, it actually looks like it's going to be Santorin who makes the first venture to the top side of the map.
Yeah, and it's just to actually get that deep vision. He picked up the warding upgrade. He has that tracker's knife. I don't think Quas has actually missed the spear pull this whole game. It's kind of ridiculous, and it's one of those things that can be honestly a little bit tilting if you're playing against it. It's like, that one hit me too? Are you serious?
How wide is this hitbox?
It's too wide apparently for KFO, but
Oh man, it was like the old school blitzcrank.
Yeah.
Gosh, here he goes again.
yeah, and this does start weighing away on you, and as Quas gets more and more damage, and he's getting more and more ahead on items, they can look for a dive here. KFO,
Oh my gosh, oh my!
He's gonna go down!
Quas gets first blood with the test of spirit.
Wow, great job from Quas, constantly pushing in KFO, chunking him out. Santorin walks up, hits a spear. Thank you very much. I'll take that first blood for Quas. And he is rolling up 20 CS. Guess what? There's no TP on the Maokai. KFO is going to lose a lot, a wave or two at least, plus the first blood gold, plus he's already down to CS. A really ugly start for KFO and exactly what you wanted if you are an Illaoi fan or a Quas fan.
Oh man.
So here it is again, and it actually gets procced. As you can see, the tentacles are going to spawn. So Santorin walking back. There's the tentacle spawn. He is not able to dodge it. Did have the flash available, but honestly, he was dead regardless.
Yeah.
You flash that tentacle slap, Santorin flash pounces on you, you're getting executed. So although it looked pretty silly, let's be honest, I think it was the right play.
Yeah, it was really a checkmate situation for Quas.
May as well hold on to the summoners because otherwise you know Santorin's coming back. And geez, this is some aggressive purchases from Quas, and he is looking great.
Oh man. Opting for the Warhammer.
Look at Graves though. Graves hanging around here. He's gonna try to steal it. He
Oh
gets
my
it.
gosh! Collateral damage from Hard secures the blue buff.
That is some cheeky play. Did he even have it warded? He did not. He just, oh, this is so smart. So he actually had it warded for GBM walking over. He sees Ziggs coming over. He's like, I bet you that HP on that blue buff is pretty low. Takes it away, so good job.
Wow, very exciting game so far. 9 minutes in. Oh man, this is wacky. This is fun. Quas is continuing to shove out onto KFO. Again!
Oh my god.
We've got to get a stat counter on this. This is
ridiculous.
So much damage that KFO is just forced to eat in this lane.
Have some mercy, Quas. This guy has a family.
Oh man.
Poor KFO is getting beasted on in the top lane.
Oh man, 25 CS are up right now, and Quas is not stopping. Hard has to choose which lane he tries to affect. So far, he hasn't had very much effect at all.
Yeah. And to be fair, although Quas is bullying this guy, Hard is staying relevant in the farm.
Yeah,
He's going to be, you know, high impact team fight champion. It's harder to kind of pull off, you know, the big team fight impact on a champion like Quas. It's much more of the counter engage. You can flash forward and ult on the team. They can back away. So we're going to have to see just how effective Quas is as the game goes forward. Illaoi quite strong now, especially has a great laning phase, but it always did. And we'll see if he can actually continue, but jeez.
Oh man. Another one is going to proc. Santorin is looking for follow-up. Yeah. This time the spear is going to miss, but Santorin is still going to chase. KFO still has his flash from earlier. Santorin misses the spear.
Gets the flash though. KFO is going to be fine, has his TP, but they are putting a lot of pressure on this lane. They're trying to snowball the advantage, and meanwhile, Hard has been pretty much vacant. He hasn't been anywhere. You know, KFO is going to have to just give up the CS because if he TPs in, Quas could have just executed that turret, taken it down. So KFO is kind of chilling in base right now, not really sure what he wants to do, and I think they're looking for a bot lane play as there is a deep ward. They're pinging it, and the whole team is moving down. They're looking for the 5-man dive on bot lane. We'll see if NRG is able to sniff it out. I think there's pings, and yeah, they're getting out of there.
Yeah, NRG know that they're taking Rift Herald on the other side of the map, know that they're vulnerable, and in fact, they are going to sniff out that Hard is down there. Quas even going to get that glimpse of the Void buff. Again, in 6-11, destroying the tentacles does not remove the debuff any sooner. So,
so that is
just
my
a flat
mistake.
12 seconds. But again, that's the bottom tier 1 now going down to EchoFox. We've spent so much time looking at that top lane. Let's sort of take a look at the rest of the state of the map. So far, GBM and Froggen have been farming to their heart's content in the mid lane, while Keith and OQ very even in that bottom lane as well.
Yeah.
In fact, a serrated Dirk from OQ.
To be fair, you know, getting the turret first is a very big deal for Fox. And yeah, serrated Dirk, pretty surprising on the Vayne. It's going to be Death Dance for Quas, but you know, looking like he's building towards probably a Ghostblade. Generally, you would see something like a Bork. Bork is pretty much a catch-all build for Vayne. Other people do like to just go multiple attack speed multipliers. You know, there was a very popular build for a long time where people went, you know, PD plus a rapid fire, PD plus shiv, things like that. Can be very effective on Vayne. You max your W, very effective at shredding tanks like the Maokai. So there are options. People do also go IE Vayne builds, but Ghostblade is not something I've really seen too much.
Yeah, so Quas did solo take the top tier 1 turret from KFO. He's 2 levels up right now, 40 CS ahead, and KFO is forced to clear out his Dire Wolves to get some sort of semblance of CS because he just can't lane against him. Now Hard is going to try sneaking the Ocean Drake right here. He's right in front of a Scuttle Crab. I'm not actually sure if the Scuttle Crab has vision of that.
No, it does not. If he dashed over the back wall, they don't know that that is happening. GBM trading in the mid lane here. Pretty even. I mean, they're dead even on CS, and the trades have been pretty back and forth. GBM taking the TP, Froggen with the Ghost Anivia, not something you would really see that often. I don't know if I've actually ever seen Ghost on Anivia, as normally you would just see something like TP or a combat summoner, you know, such as, you know, the Exhauster against Assassin, Ignite if you're in an aggressive matchup. But I guess this makes sense. He wants to close the distance on GBM, be able to get up and follow up. But here comes the TP from Quas. I do believe, oh no, it's actually GBM.
Yeah, they're going to go in big, drops the knockup. He's going to successfully disengage, and in fact, Quas came down as well, so KFO will finally get some time top. NRG might be looking for this bottom tier 1.
Yeah, and looks like they have it. Froggen, though, is going to be pushing heavily on the mid lane turret. That has been pinged out. He has a blue buff, going to be working away on it. We'll see how much they can trade. And nice ulti from GBM, going to clear up that mid lane wave, make it difficult to be able to actually take it down. And Quas now TP's right back up. So NRG successfully takes the turret. But Fox will eventually answer here. GBM may go down.
Oh, man, he gets over the wall. Bear the stun lands! Oh, Froggen is going to get the kill on GBM with some help from Big.
Well played by Froggen there. Zones him out. Gonna get the turret, gets the kill, and the summoners from GBM. So that is definitely a big deal. And Froggen is starting to scale up here as he will complete his Rod of Ages very likely on the next back. Already has his tier stacking, going double stacking items. This Anivia is going to be frightening later in the game.
Yes, as we expected from Froggen. Here's that play once again.
And GBM actually kind of like opted into this a little bit, which is pretty brave, as I don't think the Ziggs wants this fight close up. GBM overconfident though, should have just backed off immediately, tries to trade. Froggen makes him pay with some great skill shots and some big early game damage.
Things looking pretty good for Froggen as he's finally going to open up an advantage in that mid lane after about 14 minutes.
Yep.
Echo Fox might be looking to see if they can follow up with another kill as they're invading on the top side. Could be looking to collapse onto Quas. He's got one ward that is going to spot out the 3 members and another pink to keep him safe. So Quas should know that this is happening.
Just go for it, Quas. Let's see that 1v4 quadra kill.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably not going to happen. He's going to back off. At least wait for support. Santorin moving up. Kiwikid rotating as well, but they are too slow, and that is going to be gone. Froggen's moving up here as well, so you know the whole Fox crew, and they're trying to put a lot of pressure on. They're trying to kind of keep making NRG pay for allocating their resources in specific ways. So Vayne is in the bot lane shoving, great. Okay, he may get some CS there, he may get some solo experience. You don't want Sivir in that 1v1 matchup because he will lose. So instead, Fox groups up, they take a turret, they're pushing for the objectives, and they're getting what they can, which is very, very smart. You know, a Ghost Blade completed on Vayne. He's up a level, up some CS as well. Keith has no chance in the 1v1 against this Vayne, so he's gonna have to be careful.
Yeah, going for the standard Essence Reaver for team fighting. Hard, hot on the heels of Santorin, but he's just not fast enough to keep pace with that NIdalee's jungle clear. He hops the wall, clears the camps, and gets out. Though Hard has been farming as well.
Yeah, doing well for himself. He's just a little bit behind, so he can be happy about that. And now picking himself up, you know, Hex Drinker, we can see Santorin is building towards that Roa. Both junglers doing pretty well for themselves. I have to give the edge as far as play so far to Santorin, though, who has put on more pressure.
Yeah, we'll see if Santorin continues to put pressure on the Echo Fox as a whole, as he has now completed a Catalyst and is continuing to farm it up. Froggen continuing to look for those cheeky walls.
Worth going for it. And I mean, anytime you do cut this guy off, you can get a lot of damage. Just that ER combo, you throw out the E, you drop the ult on top of them, it still procs the chilling. You get a big amount of damage, then they kind of have to waddle awkwardly out of your ultimate while they're being walled off, which you can throw the Q at them. So it's very, very strong combo. And Anivia, although it's you know, this scaling champion, he builds all these mana items early on, he can still kill you so fast, or she, I guess I should say, can kill you very, very fast, even in the early game.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit during game number 1 about Echo Fox being like, hey, should we play the Froggen style, take it slow, wait it out, or do we play KFO's game and sort of go for more aggressive and faster plays? Well, this time, seems like Echo Fox are content to say, you know what, Froggen, you're on Anivia. We've got time.
Yeah, they have a lot of time, and this is a team that scales so well, so there's no concern about going late game this time around.
Yeah.
Keith is going to be fantastic on the Sivir. Anivia is going to be a team fight beast. KFO is eventually going to get so tanky that he's going to be a problem. Every one of their champions down the line scales very, very well.
I think Santorin actually just secured that Raptor.
Yep, he got it with the spear, so well played by him. A little bit annoying for Froggen, but Froggen is known for taxing those jungle camps.
Yeah.
This time, at least, he's taking away from the opponents.
Yeah. We've finally gotten him to move out of his own jungle.
Yeah, look at all the pink wards as well. From Fox on the map, they have pink wards everywhere. 3 on the top side. They have 1 defensive one in their own bot side jungle. They are doing great with that, you know, controlling the vision pretty heavily.
They gotta keep themselves safe from that invading NIdalee. Try to maintain vision now. Dragon is about to spawn in 20 seconds. That's gonna be the Mountain Drake.
Yeah, so Fox does have that first water dragon, which is going to give them that regen pretty nice. And Mountain, as we've talked about, especially in the late game, very powerful, and NRG is moving over towards it. They already have Vayne shoving in the bot lane. Quas is shoving in the top lane. They have the side lane pressure, and as a result, they should have the advantage in moving towards this objective. We'll see if they can pick it up for free, or if Hard's going to go for the Miracle Seed.
NRG immediately look for the Mountain Drake. They secure it without circumstance as Froggen holds in the bottom lane. But NRG grouped up in the mid before backing off.
You know, Froggen not having the TP does mean that as long as you have side lane control, they're not going to have 2 people who can actually answer the sideways and TP in. So not only do they have 2 TPs for NRG, they have Vayne, who loves being in that side lane, loves being in the 1v1s, very strong in that. So, you know, as far as side lane control goes, it's going to be heavily in NRG's favor.
Oh, Kiwikid got separated from his team and immediately flashes the wall. As Santorin on the other side, so very slippery, just trying to kite it out. In fact, they are going to charge forward. Kiwikid takes a lot of damage. He's got no flash, and Kiwikid goes down. GBM can't chase it forward as Hard is going to secure the blue buff that the rest of the team was contesting.
A close fight. Vic and Froggen both get low, but oh, GBM, nice heal from OQ. I'm not sure if he would have gotten down because Froggen's ult did actually tether, I think, but it was really close. Either way, I mean, the wall forcing out Kiwikid's flash means that he gets killed shortly thereafter, so nice job by Froggen once again.
Yeah, Quas is still shoving in that side lane. Was a little bit slow to join up with the rest of his team, but it ended up working out rather well for Echo Fox.
And here is that replay. To start it off, we do see that flash forced out, and Kiwikid decides, you know what, let's go back in. Pops the ult here, the Mantra E, they just kind of charge back in, but this is pretty darn aggressive, and honestly, pretty big mistake from Kiwikid. I think that was way too over-aggressive. Did not have Quas there, did not really have anyone in front of him, so this is just a squishy support Karma kind of charging in.
Yeah.
Almost like a little bit of a bluff, but they called it, and he's going to die.
That's not a full house at all. Yeah, 21 minutes in now. NRG still slightly ahead in gold, only about 1,000 gold.
Yeah.
But Echo Fox, pretty okay with that, as they still do have that Ocean Drake to allow Froggen to keep healing up, get that mana back. Continue to scale towards that late game. Next Drake you can see is going to be another Ocean Drake, which Froggen would love. Jeez, Quas.
Good spear pulling.
Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff you need to do to be effective in the group combat as Illaoi. You want to pull those spirits out, allow you to get some chunk damage from that. That's something that can give you an advantage. Ooh, as that spear
was a big
does
spear.
catch onto Keith. But you know, Fox has a great team fight. Quas is caught.
Yeah, forced to flash over the wall. Doesn't have vision of Echo Fox and is used, forced to burn that summoner that we would much rather have in a 5v5 team fight.
Yeah, especially because that's really your only way in to get that big ultimate off as Illaoi. You kind of need that flash, and Froggen is just getting summoners left and right with these walls. He's so good at the champion.
Yeah, that comfort pick Anivia. Once
Another
again,
one.
he splits off Quas. He's forced to pull somebody in, but he's taking a lot of damage in the meanwhile. The AoE drops out. Big is a vessel right now. He's going to have to dodge
got
it.
him.
Quas gets it over the wall.
I feel like these people have not played against Illaoi before. They gotta dodge that.
And a spear is going to find Froggen.
Here goes
OQ
OQ.
goes in. He's going to look for hard, find some damage. Oh my gosh, that spear landed.
Santorin tags him with the max range spear on Keith and had his flash available.
I don't think he thought he was still in range.
All right, I mean, it's great that Quas got that kill, but I gotta be honest, you literally just walk in a straight line horizontally when the Illaoi tentacle spawns. You cannot get hit by it. Is it possible? So they're kind of just running in a straight line. They're not thinking about it. Maybe not used to the champion. Maybe just panicking a little bit. But that is like multiple kills that he's actually gotten from people just not dodging this. It's very, very simple. You just walk straight in a line, and it does not.
Tangentially, yes.
Yes.
Here that is once again. Quas, you can see, gets caught and immediately just turns around.
It drops the ult. A big ulti comes in from GBM. He's poking away around the wall, and here it goes. Big does not notice the spawn of the tentacle, I guess. He gets taken out, and if we're going to continue watching this, we will see some nice spears from Santorin and GBM poking away on the side. And look at this spear, max range, no sidestep from Keith. Pop goes the Sivir.
It's like when you see people in an action movie running away from something that's falling, and you're always like, why don't they run to the side?
You're running on the train tracks trying to get away from the train.
Just get off
off
the tracks.
So we'll see. We'll see a little bit of an error there, but not too big of a deal. They do lose a couple turrets, though, and that is the big win for NRG, who wants to continue to get ahead. You know, Keith does still keep that flash summoner available. Big has his. So they both could have used that to stay alive, but at least they'll have him for the next fight.
NRG now grouping up in the mid lane as Echo Fox return immediately to the position they were previously in. They lost 2 turrets and decide, you know what, we can come back. We can take this position once again. As Big looks for a tag, doesn't quite find it. Again, the wall tries to separate NRG but doesn't succeed. Quas now with his teleport splitting in the bottom, and KFO with his own in the top lane.
I really do like how GBM and Santorin are working together. I thought it was so smart in the mid lane for both of them to be off the side, throwing spears and those Ziggs bombs from the Wraith Pit, you know, just kind of over the side, lobbing at them from angles that the team will not expect. And another stolen camp there by Santorin. He's been on point.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Echo Fox have got to be in check with their emotions right now because it's so many tiny, irritating things time and time again.
And look at Quas. He's going deep in the bot lane. And Froggen says, ooh, I'm going to wait you out. And he does not let that blue buff get stolen.
Yeah.
But Quas pushing hard here in the bot lane, going to pick up another turret. He is doing great for the team, has the Spirit Visage, which is going to increase a lot of that return healing. If you cannot burst down the Illaoi, he is a pain. She is a pain, rather. Going to be keeping continually healing back up. So it's definitely tough. And when Illaoi starts to outpace you as far as itemization, it can be really hard to burst her down and take her out before she starts to heal up. So Starrick's completed, Spirit Visage 3 fast items for Quas. He is doing great, and the Illaoi is looking strong. But Fox has a fantastic late game and a really strong team play. Yeah. And they are certainly not anywhere close to being out of this.
Yeah, put Keith on a high damage AD carry this game as compared to the previous one. So we'll be looking for a lot more impact from him, while KFO and Big this time are the tanks.
Yeah, OQ as well. Going pretty defensive build here. You know, picked up a very early QSS. Obviously worried about getting CC. Does not want to get locked down and taken out. You have to be right up in the enemy team's base. As Vayne, you roll you around. If you ever get tagged by a stun, you die pretty much instantly. So although as far as damage goes, Vayne has massive late game damage. It's much harder to get it off compared to some of these other late game ADCs. You have to be very, very careful. If you get caught by a Maokai root, you could die like that. Caught by a Froggen stun, you could die just as fast. So QSS showing some respect to that. Has a very strong dueling build with the Ghostblade and the PD, but not necessarily your team fight beast just yet. You know, it's not like this is that IE Vayne building straight for the team fight.
From what we saw with the last fight with NRG in the mid lane, where they ended up breaking down into 2v2, it was actually a lot of the poke from Quas and Santorin that opened up and enabled the fight to happen.
Yeah, GBM as well, doing a lot of work as he is scaling pretty heavily up. Oh, Santorin has to flash out of there. So another wall, another flash. Froggen on point with his Anivia today, doing great, has not died, ahead in CS, and getting summoners out left and right.
NRG now continuing to press forward. Stun is going to find Quas, but he's so tanky. In fact, the Mega Inferno Bomb for a bit of harass. Speed up onto Quas. It looks like NRG are trying to fight this.
Yeah. NRG honestly has really good siege. It's another area in which Illaoi can excel. If they're trying to hold under their turret, you can keep throwing out that E, keep going for it. OQ actually just QSS nothing by accident, so they're going to have to be careful about a fight right now.
Yeah, GBM just barely makes it over Froggen's wall before he can put that up and potentially burn another summoner spell. So the Dragon next up is going to be a Mountain Drake. Currently, everyone's fighting over vision around this Baron buff, but the longer Quas gets to stick around, the more tentacles are going to spawn.
I would like to see Quas in a side lane, though. This is where he's really kind of built his advantage. They have a bot lane wave building against them, so Fox is the one in a better kind of laning position as far as that goes, because the wave is massive in the bot lane. Yes, NRG's wave is pushing in top, but it's not as large. Quas wants to be in a 1v1 situation anyway, where he's going to be fantastic, so I think it'd be fine for him to move down there. And it looks like he is going to go answer that now. At the same time now, Fox, seeing him answer that, may try to bait out Baron, may try to engage. We'll see what the answer is.
Yeah, they've actually got the fast track down mid lane right now.
They're going right back to
tier
Baron.
2. And yeah, they are going to continue to keep baiting around that Baron.
They want to get Quas to TP. That's the goal here. They're going to try to start it up. As soon as the TP comes in, they disengage. They're going right onto it. Quas will have to TP here, as this is actually taking a lot of damage, but I think NRG is just saying, no, you're not doing it. You're just baiting. They will poke forward, though. This Baron still has quite a bit of HP. They got some time.
Yeah, Santorin lands a spear. Quas did teleport and join in. Test of Fate is going to find Big. He flashes forward with the knockup, finds Santorin and Kiwi. GBM and OQ again are split, but the damage is huge from GBM and Santorin. They're able to poke Echo Fox down to just about, how did what?
He died to the tentacle. Oh my god, what a mistake from Keith, and another tentacle spawned. It actually just slapped him. Quas and Co are looking to take this Baron. It is going down fast to the Vayne, but we have Bard on top.
Bard's got somebody over the wall, and Santorin is going to secure it. Hard's forced to flash over, but there's no way he can get out of this as Froggen locks NRG in like fish in a Baron pit.
Jeez. Another big kill for Quas. He's picking them up in the funniest of ways.
Yeah.
This is, once again, Keith dying with his flash up, not dodging out that tentacle slap, and feels like the pressure is getting to these guys a little bit. They're not used to the Illaoi, and they're not reacting as they should be. We'll see if we can get this replay and catch actually exactly where he did die. But I have to imagine it was a tentacle slap. And so Fox started up, they get the TP, but they do not disengage, and they're not ready for the fight. They're getting poked out very hard. Big flashes back in. You can see that he is the one that is vesseled. Tentacle slap probably going to spawn right here and drop on him. Let's see it happen. There's the tentacle.
So there's one more to go. There it is. Oh,
Bam.
man.
Keith just did not seem to notice it. He didn't even move. He actually started his recall up there. Gets punished big time. NRG has the Baron buff. Let's see what they can do.
Yeah, they've got Baron, and now they've got the momentum in this match.
Bot.
There's a huge wave in the bottom lane, and NRG are looking to close this series out 2-0 right now. As with Baron buff and a very strong Illaoi, they're going to continue just charging forward. Another test of spirit is going to find Big. He's chunked down to half.
Quas is just crushing with these. He's hitting every single spirit pull. Keith gets chunked, and they're going for the turret.
The inhibitor falls almost immediately. The rest of NRG charge through the gap and break down the inhibitor with little pomp and circumstance. And Echo Fox are trying to hold on to this, but NRG are not done. That's just been a minute of the Baron buff. They've already taken an inhibitor, and they're looking at the next one.
And this is rough. They are just getting chunked. Santorin is on point with the spears. GBM constantly throwing in the Ziggs harass. We have spear pulls you have to dodge. There's so much stuff to actually dodge here, but GBM gets caught. He may go down.
Man. He is going to pop over the wall with the sapling charge, so he still has his flash for now, and at half health, he's going to be relatively safe as long as he doesn't get caught by another wall. But there's another test of spirit.
It gets another one. Quas has just been so on point. The Mountain Drake has spawned, but I think they're going to stay around. The Baron Canada minion is just working away on this, and we have a big wave pushing in the bot lane for NRG. They're going to have to answer this eventually. Yeah,
KFO's going to try to soak some damage, but that's exactly what Quas wants. He drops the knock-up, in fact. There's On the Hunt as Hart hops over the wall. KFO tries to flank, but Quas is in everyone! He's just shredding through Echo Fox's life as they continue to plow forward. KFO goes down, the inhibitor turret drops, and Keith is hunted down by Santorin. NRG get 2 kills, they get the inhibitor, and they might be looking to end the game with the next wave.
I think they can end, and Quas takes another one. This guy is going off on Illaoi.
Amazing play with this Illaoi. They've got a super minion with Baron buff. Big is trying to zone it out. Hard is just a little bit too slow. The 2 Nexus turrets go down, and NRG pick up their first win of the 2016 Summer Split off the back of Quas.
And in emphatic fashion, NRG came up huge this game. Quas was a monster, hitting Spirit Pull after Spirit Pull. A huge ult for the counter initiation in that last fight. And this is the Quas we were hoping to see. When you hear this guy's coming back, he's been one of the elite top laners in North America for so long. He's looked rusty. Now, today, he has his breakout game on Illaoi. Looked good earlier, looked great on Illaoi.
Yeah.
And that is so impressive. They gotta be so happy.
Oh my gosh. That was amazing play from NRG over the course of that series. 2-0 over Echo Fox. And taking a game off of Immortals yesterday, you might have thought, oh, it was a fluke. They had a good day. Well, no. NRG are here to stay.
Oh, yeah. They're here to compete. They were a playoff team last split. They're here to reaffirm that they are going to be a playoff team this split. And this is looking to be the most competitive North American LCS split to date. Pretty much everyone is in the mix. And anyone can be anyone. It's nuts.
Yeah. I remember at the beginning of the day we were talking about, okay, so far NRG looked like a team, put GBM on Vlad, and that's about all they can do. Well, now they show they've got this Victor composition that they can run with Sivir. They've got an Illaoi comp they can run with Quas. NRG are just showing us how much they've grown over the past week.
Yeah, there's a high barrier of execution, I think, to the setup that they did run. They looked great doing it. Really stayed composed, a lot of great poke. They're able to group up, go for the spirit pulls, poke people out. GBM and Santorin constantly zoning. People are getting caught by these spirit pulls, they get chunked down. Now if you get hit by a Ziggs ult, you're in big trouble. So there's always the threat of this backline access from GBM, from Santorin, threading the needle on these spears so many times.
Oh my gosh.
This was a team effort for NRG for sure. Santorin helping to get Quas ahead, but boy did he look good on Illaoi.
Yeah, he really did. A very strong lane. And now on the other side, that's not to say that Echo Fox looked bad. By contrast, they looked just as strong as they did at the end of last week, just continuing the sort of win lane, win game sort of idea. But they just didn't quite have the momentum at the end of game 1 to carry through.
Yeah, I will say, that when you pick a team fighting comp like this, I want to see Hard kind of helping out his lanes more. It's like, yeah, if you're saying you need to win lane, then Hard needs to have more participation in this game. He ends the game 0-0-0 on Graves. No deaths, no kills, no assists, nothing. Which, sure, he stayed alive. He farmed pretty well, but he did not have impact in the early game. Santorin, meanwhile, helped to really get Quas ahead. He picked on this disadvantageous matchup for KFO. Where was Hard, though, to help pick on this Vayne, who has, a lot of weaknesses early on. Where was the team trying to make these TP plays bot and try to do something, with their comp? It just felt like they kind of sat back. They allowed NRG to play their game plan. NRG executed very well, and as a result, they take the game.
Yeah, and with that, we're going to go ahead and toss it down to Kobe, who's on stage.